Joining me on stage right now, heading to the stage, is the Chief Business Development Officer. Ready to kill it? Silver Stem. Let's hear it for Stan Zislis.
Hello, my name is Stan Zislis. I'm Chief Business Development Officer for Silver Stem Fine Cannabis. Real quick, Silver Stem is a vertically integrated cultivator and operator, cultivator and retailer in Colorado. And we've been in business for 13 years. We're some of the older operators in Colorado. Real quick, I should have really skipped this slide. It's for those who don't know much about the market, but as you know, 3/4 of Americans live in states where medical marijuana is legal currently, and about half of those states allow recreational marijuana. The pace at which states have been recently adopting recreational marijuana from medical has been speeding up. United States is the largest consumer cannabis market in the world, and it's expected to remain so. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of the same charts where we're expecting dramatic growth, and we know that most of the growth is going to be attributable to recreational sales. Medical market is also continuing to grow, though at a little bit of a smaller rate, but it's still growing. I want to bring your attention to the chart on the left. We know that states like Florida, New York, Arizona, they're eventually going to be topping the charts when it comes to revenue, when it comes to market share within the United States. But at least for now, Colorado still retains a very respectable top 3 spot. And we're from Colorado, and so we're here to talk it up. Colorado, for those who don't know, it's a leader in cannabis legalization. We were the first state to promulgate medical marijuana rules in 2010. We were the first state to adopt adult use cannabis, also known as recreational, and we're the first state to start selling and growing on January 1st, 2014. So we stand today with Colorado being the most mature cannabis market, the most mature regulated market in the states. We have the longest standing regulations that are pretty comprehensive and that have been dialed in over the years to favor the industry. And arguably, we have some of the most experienced operators. Colorado, just like any other state, has enjoyed very impressive growth over the years. In 2020, we've topped $2.2 billion in sales, and currently, according to our Department of Revenue, top 10 operators control just under 1/4 of the total market. So we're pretty proud of where we are, and we believe that we're in the right position to materialize on the opportunities that are in front of us right now in Colorado. A little bit about us. We started in 2009. We started a store that was called Cannamart. Over the years, we have grown. We have developed the company. We've developed additional stores, both through new license wins and acquisitions. We've invested into our own cultivation facility. We've acquired real estate, and so 13 years later, we're one of the top 10 operators in the state. Colorado many people wrongfully believe that there's no money to be made in Colorado because they hear about a lot of operators that are not making money. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not necessarily so. We've been in it for 13 years, and we've made money since day one. There is an exponential growth opportunity, which in a nutshell comes down to new locations, new cities, which are currently opted out of retail marijuana market, which are opening up and will start selling retail marijuana by the end of the year or early next year. So we're positioned for something like that. Just right. We currently have 10 stores, 7 operational, 3 in development that will be operational later in the year. We have 2 cultivation facilities. We're producing over 5,000 pounds a year, and we have capacity to increase it if needed. We grow a large variety of strains A lot of people grow a large variety of strains, but not many people average 3 to 3.5 pounds a light consistently year over year. That's verifiable through metric. That's the seed to sale system. We exceeded $21 million in sales, exceeded $4 million in EBITDA last year, and we do it all with about 100 employees. So we like to stay slim. We pay attention to our costs. It's very important, especially in light of 280E. This is just a snapshot of our financials. I mentioned that we've been profitable from day one. We've been profitable and we've been cash flow positive since 2009. Obviously, there have been variations in the market. We have managed. Given that 2020 was an outlier year, it was an outlier good year in a sense for the cannabis industry, because while many industries were negatively affected, people had to shut down, lose revenue. Cannabis was declared essential, and we were able to make record sales. So in a sense, it's hard to measure up to 2020 because you had a cataclysmic event. On the other hand, when we look at our 2021 sales, we were still able to grow, cumulatively at a rate of about 25% over the last few years, both EBITDA and net sales. Now, what's important about these numbers is that we had very little wholesale, almost no wholesale in 21, because we were building up backstock in anticipation of new stores opening. So we've added over $1 million in inventory. That's, that number down there, the 4.1 million, that does not include adjustments for additional inventory. So the actual EBITDA is much higher. This year, we're budgeting a $25.5 million net sale with about a $6.8 million EBITDA, which takes us to a very respective high 20s range. The company is run by 7 people. 5 of them are owners, 4 of whom are founders of the company. Our experience literally ranges from Wall Street to farming and engineering and everywhere in between. We have people from the fashion world that opened up stores, and everyone is committed and involved daily. And over the years, we have relationships between some of these owners that last 25 years, 10 years, 15 years. So this is a team that's dedicated. This is a team that's been around. This is a team that's seasoned. This is a team that's committed to making sure that the company succeeds. So in a nutshell, we have a leading cannabis brand with excess production capacity. We're looking to optimize our earnings. And one of the ways we're looking to do that is to meet and exceed our production capacity. We need to increase and solidify our footprint to keep climbing in that top 10 chart, hopefully to the top 5 or to the top 3. And we also need to add a marijuana-infused products or a Mip component. We have long-standing processing relationships and trim trade relationships. However, until now, we haven't owned our own, and we are adding that to our vertical integration. And the potential is basically an exponential upside. As new legalization continues, both on a state and nationwide level, it also continues within states. Because as you know, in most of the states, there's a dual licensing system. You have to be approved by both the state and the city. And even in a mature state like Colorado, there are still cities, such as Colorado Springs, second largest city, which does not allow recreational sales. Well, that's about to change. So we have a team that's got experience, that's got production capacity, that has retail capacity, and we can just bolt things on and move forward. So we've identified 2 simple objectives, what we need in order to implement the plan. We're primarily targeting distressed medical licenses in Colorado Springs and other municipalities, which are about to go rec, and we're waiting for them to go recreational. The second part of that objective is obtaining distressed licenses that are not good performers in locations that are not great performers, acquiring premium retail real estate locations, and moving those licenses, thereby increasing revenue. And the second objective is, as I mentioned, is the Mip Partnership. Instead of going through the learning curve, we are fortunate in the sense that we have a large pool of talent and experience in Colorado, and we're partnering with some of the more respectable and tried and true, proven operators in the Mip world. This is our current presence. It's pretty self-explanatory. The circles are the stores, the diamonds are the grows. We're pretty much currently focused around the Denver metro area with a few suburbs, and we have a few stores in the mountain towns. The objective is to add the yellow dots to the map. Acquisitions in Colorado Springs. Junction is a city that's about to open up a retail application process. We are holding a few locations down there. The goal is ultimately to turn all the yellows into the greens. On a pro forma, this is a pro forma basis. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. It's available. It's available on the portal. There's a desktop version actually with more details. We're looking to pretty much triple our revenue and increase our EBITDA sixfold. We're looking to do it all in about 24 months. The numbers, the assumptions that we're making are based on actual performance of our actually existing stores. And so we can have a deeper conversation about that. Use of funds. As I said, primarily acquisition of licenses. This can be either good performing licenses that can stay in locations where they are, or these can be poorly performing licenses that need to be moved. And we've already identified some preliminary locations where we would like to move these licenses to. Use of funds is primarily acquisition of licenses, acquisition of real estate, build out and some working capital. We are projecting about $11.5 million is what we need. Once again, in this next slide here, we're showing the assumptions that we're making and how the revenue and the EBITDA grows as we reach and cross these different milestones. Once again, 24 months to achieve a run rate of 3 times X of where we are right now. So that's it. That's pretty much the pitch. $11.5 million investment needed to triple our sales and then increase our EBITDA earnings to about $25 million. One of the things I forgot to mention is our management team, the ownership team. We cumulatively have over 75 years of experience. With the top 4 owners, we share 60 years of experience between us. This is all successful, verifiable, and compliant experience. So something that we plan to take forward. We're also involved in a few other states. We're actively involved in a project in New York where we're laying the groundwork for a cultivation license later on. We're pursuing certain opportunities in New Jersey and in Portland. So we're ready to talk. So if anyone has any questions.
Who has a question for Stan? Anybody have a question? Stan, the only question that comes to mind for me, man, is you said you're profitable from the beginning. How the hell did you do that? That's not easy.
It's not easy. We have to be creative and we have to work hard. We take pride in the quality of our product. We take pride in the environment that we create. We listen to our customers. We have a great CRM system. Listen to our customers and give them what they want through, be it loyalty, be it environment, be it deals, be it variety. And we truly listen.
All right, so I'm going to introduce the guy. Okay.
This is how we were able to compete and not only stay alive, but thrive through 13 years of changing regulatory and economic market environments in Colorado. And so, I don't know if I mentioned, but our EBITDA is currently in mid-20s. Once we optimize and implement the plan, we're aiming to achieve mid-30s to high 30s. Some people may be shaking heads, thinking it's not possible in Colorado. I challenge you to sit down. We'll show you the numbers. Change your minds.
Any other questions for Stan? Yes.
Hi, I'm Jillian. I'm from Denver from work. We're a payroll HR company. I was just wondering, knowing the nature of Colorado Springs, that's where I'm from. Do you anticipate that wreck to be happening soon, or?
I'm sorry, can you repeat from the beginning? I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm Jillian. I'm from work. We're located in Denver, Colorado, so very familiar with the area. And I'm actually from Colorado Springs. We're an HR payroll software for the cannabis industry. I was just wondering, knowing the nature of Colorado Springs, when you anticipate rec to happen, and is it still favorable to just operate with medical, or are you just banking on the rec to happen eventually?
So all the stores we have are recreational, and some of them are rec and med, so they're dual. We plan, depending on the location, obviously, if it makes sense for a certain area, we plan to continue operating as dual. So when recreational permission, when authorization happens in Colorado Springs, we plan to convert those locations to dual. We do not plan to surrender or give up medical licenses, because currently, I want to say 10 to 15% of our revenue in some of our stores is still coming from medical, and it is still a market that's in demand, right? It requires for the consumer, it's a little bit more headache in the sense that, yeah, they got to go see a doctor, they got to renew their card, so on and so forth, but that's like a Costco membership. They save on taxes, they have different purchasing limits, they have different potency, and, right? So we're keeping that market alive. We're actually adding medical sales to some of our existing stores that currently don't have it. First of all, there's a need, there's demand. Second of all, it's revenue, it's money. That product is grown in the same store. Product sold on the medical side contributes to the P&L. So we're going to continue keeping medical.
All right, and with that in line, let's make some noise.